Even though not all areas of the country are seeing rain, it could still have a positive impact on cattlemen across the United States. We have more in this week's Market Watch.
Market Watch.
Here in the studio to talk about how the moisture is impacting the corn market is Chad Spearman, market analyst for CattleFax. Chad, thanks for coming back to our show.
Thanks, Kevin.
Well, I want to get into new crop in a little bit, but before I do, talk to me about some of the factors that are driving the near-term pricing for corn.
Well, I think overall, Kevin, the near-term overriding factors for the market are going to be on March 28th, we have two key reports. Number one is going to be the quarterly grain stocks report, and that's going to indicate whether or not we did much rationing at all during the second quarter of the corn marketing year. And expectations right now are that we have done very little rationing and from the feed usage side. We have done a lot on the export side, and we're keeping ethanol production substantially below a year ago. But the second report is going to be the prospective plantings report. That's a producer survey-based report that's going to come out with planting expectations for corn, wheat, and soybeans. And as of today, I mean, expectations are that if we have steady to more corn acres in 2013, then we're going to have a substantial increase in corn supplies if we get some decent weather.
And you're talking about steady to more corn acres, but of course that depends a lot on the weather. What impact will weather have on the corn market as we move into next year's crop?
Well, I think coming into this year, 90 days ago, there was a lot of concern, as dry as we were last year, with the horrendous drought that impacted yields. But over the last 30 to 90 days, we've seen above normal precipitation in most of the Corn Belt. You now have soil moisture about normal in the eastern Corn Belt, still drier than normal in the western Corn Belt, but most of those areas have gotten some above normal precipitation. The exception would be more like the state of Nebraska. It's still extremely very dry. But overall, we've seen a change and a little bit more precipitation, and if we can get just a little bit better growing season, it won't take much to see a substantial increase compared to the yields that we saw last year. So ultimately, if we get that steady to increase planted acres for corn, and we do have a decent growing season, we could see potentially new crop corn futures moving into the fall time frame down around $4.50 to $5 a bushel. We were kind of on that same track last year, moving into the summer time frame, but we just never got that last rain as the drought just persisted on.
And that's always critical. They tell me that the most important part of the year, obviously, for weather is that July time frame. So we'll wait and see what happens, right?
You betcha.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Kevin.
For more expert information on analysis on the corn market, just visit CattleFax.com.